As with Joe Biden. He got there in 1972. You're in the capital region for a long time. You know, before, just a couple of years ago, Joe was not part of the woke left. Joe, if he has a heart, I think would be open to, look, this stuff has gotten carried away. We need to kind of bring it back. I don't know what's happening with him. There was a Joe Biden, though, who would be very open to your argument a long time ago. He's gone now.
Yeah, he is. Look, he's actually facing some very serious threats. Very quickly, 5 of them. The communist Chinese adversary that you just put up on the air, on the screen. The military, diplomatic, and economic threats. The attacks on Indian troops in the Himalayas. The sinking of Vietnamese fishing boats. The menacing of Taiwan. All of that is part of a genocide that's being practiced against the Uyghur Muslim minority. And no one in this administration is saying anything. You got to wonder, is Hunter Biden setting the China policy? Number 2. They're in the process of getting ready to abandon Israel as the only democratic ally that we have in the region of the Middle East. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, they're threatened by an Iranian-Chinese nuclear cooperation deal that's very covert, and they're going to back away from the Abraham Accords. Embracing Kerry's two-state solution for Palestine is a formula for disaster because he wants the Israelis to withdraw from back to the 1967 borders and withdraw from the Golan Heights. Number 3, the embrace of the disastrous Paris Climate Accords, you've already talked about this, is going to wreck the U.S. economy. It's going to help China. It's the green bad deal. The ban on exporting coal means exporting jobs. The stopping the building of the Keystone XL pipeline puts tens of thousands of people out of work. It's a threat to America's energy independence. And the EPA is clearly about to take charge of American jobs. Number 4, reversal of the Trump immigration repairs, meaning building the wall, improving security, abandoning the requirement for refugee status before entering the U.S., and the travel ban from immigration from places like Libya, all of which he did away with in that one executive order. And finally, number 5, his pitch, as you've pointed out, Greg, his pitch for unity is phony. He's failed to stop the Senate trial. You mentioned that just a few minutes ago. To convict Trump. It shows a lack of leadership. It's going to doom him and the Democrats in the 2022 elections. And ultimately, we're going to get Republicans back in the House and Senate in charge of doing things like, hey, give some credit to Trump for the COVID vaccine in record time. Give some effort to say something decent about the people who made it possible for him to say he wants to do 100 million vaccinations in the space of the first 100 days. The Trump legacy is not to be embarrassed. I know that there's a lot of controversy, but he's an anti-communist, anti-terrorist. He improved the security for American citizens by building that border wall and rebuilding our military, and he created the dignity of work for tens of millions of people who'd never had work before. That ought to be recognized by this president who preaches unity but does nothing about it.
You know, your plan is so practical and sound and makes good governing, makes good politics. Getting to Joe Biden, making him do any of this stuff, it looks to me, and I've been watching him, we've all seen him, he looks very frail. I also get the sense he's not in charge. He's working for all these 30-year-olds who are telling him what to do. Joe seemed to want the job so bad that he would say and do anything. I just don't think it's up to him anymore, do you?
No, in fact, I fear no man. You and I came from a background where we put our lives on the line as U.S. Marines. I'm not afraid of any man. What I am afraid of is the good Lord who's going to punish us for allowing this guy to get to where he is and be dominated by the far left, the extreme left. You know, there's very few other networks that even use the word, and we ought to be using it. And you do, I know. Anarchy. Anarchy is what happens in the aftermath of the election. They put F.U., Biden, on the walls of buildings and then smash the windows. These are the same people that led the attack on the Congress. These are the same people that were rioting all last summer. And the inability of this president to stand up and say, this is wrong, no matter who does it. Anarchy is what's going to bring down the government of the United States if we're not really careful about what we're doing. The American people want security. They want jobs. They want opportunity, as you pointed out in the last segment. Equal opportunity for our kids and my grandkids that you and I had as we were growing up. The idea that we're not going to have that is a bad deal.
Colonel North, as you're talking, I'm thinking about 2022 and 2024. You're younger than Joe Biden. You're a lot smarter than Joe Biden. You
Well,
were a
I
great
do want to
candidate.
point out one thing, my friend.
What?
The Secret Service cannot protect me from Betsy.
Mrs. North. Okay, there's no go, no go. Unfortunately, all right, just an idea, just an idea. Best of Mrs. North, Colonel North. Thank you very much. Fidelis Publishing, folks. Info at Fidelis Publishing. If you're getting shut down by mainstream woke publishers, this might be your answer, especially if you are a former Trump administration official. Colonel North, great to see you as always. Many thanks, sir.
Semper Fi, Marine.
Rah, Semper Fi.